Jeju Island was basically Korea's worst nightmare in solo leveling. 3 different raids had already failed miserably. Each time hunters stepped foot on that island, they never came back the same, if they came back at all. The place was crawling with these killer ants that broke out from a dungeon, and no one could stop them. For Korea's top hunters, it wasn't just a failed mission anymore, it was personal. They lost friends there. So even after all the defeats, they kept pushing, hoping that one day they'd finally wipe those ants out and give their fallen teammates some peace. But here's where things get shady. Japan saw this whole disaster as a perfect chance to boost their own reputation. Goto Ryuji, one of Japan's strongest hunters, and the Japanese Hunter Association thought, why not send the Korean hunters back in and use them as bait? Sounds messed up, right? That was the plan. Let the Koreans take the hit so the Japanese rank hunters could step in, look like heroes, and steal the spotlight. It was less about saving JEJU and more about putting Japan on top of the hunter leaderboard. The only problem? Their plan completely backfired. The Ant King turned out to be way stronger than anyone expected, and things quickly went off the rails. And just when it looked like everything was going to collapse again, Jinwoo showed up, solo as always. No fancy entrance, no backup, just him. And that one guy completely flipped the script. So yeah, Jeju Island was supposed to be Korea's tragedy and Japan's big win. Instead, it turned into the stage where Song Jin-woo quietly reminded the world who the real main character was. Sad? Yes. Messed up? Absolutely. But also kind of satisfying when you think about how badly that betrayal blew up in their faces. Anyway, before we begin, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads. Alright, let's recap the Jeju Island arc for a second. It all started when a flying mutant ant, a flying one, managed to escape Jeju Island and landed on a random island near Japan. The hunters there weren't ready at all. The ant pulled up like it owned the place, and chaos followed. The Japanese Hunters Association reacted fast and sent 108 hunters to deal with it. Sounds like a lot, right? But by the time they actually took the ant down, 294 people had already died. That's when it hit everyone. These ants weren't just creepy, they were on a whole other level. From what they saw, it would take at least a rank hunters or stronger just to have a chance at clearing them out. After that mess, Japan decided to get serious. They called in the big names, the S-rank hunters who had been to Jeju Island before, to figure out what they were really dealing with. One of them was Min Byung-gyu, a Korean S-rank healer. He helped Japan investigate the ant threat, and what he found was terrifying. Turns out, these flying ants could cover about 150 kilometers. That meant Korea wasn't safe anymore either. Meanwhile, Jinwoo had just wrapped up his grind in the Demon Castle. When he got back, he found out Goto Ryuji and 9 more Japanese rankers were planning to join the next Jeju Island raid. Later, at the Hunters Association gym, Jinwoo and Chairman Go were watching Korean hunters Baek and Ma Dong-wook train. Then the Japanese squad walked in, all sharp and serious, representing Japan's best. You had guys like Izawa, Tanaka, Hoshino, even Goto himself. The two sides started sparring to see who was stronger, and at first, Japan looked like they had the upper hand. Lim Tae-gyu lost to Hoshino, and Ma Dong-wook got taken out by Tanaka. It was kind of a rough look for Korea. Then things got tense. One of the Japanese hunters, Kumamoto, started fighting recklessly against Cha Hayan. Jinru saw that and stepped in. Dude wasn't even in the spar, but he wasn't letting that slide. Goto watched Jinru move and was straight up impressed. He even challenged Jinru to a match, thinking he could test this new S-ranker's skill. But as they fought, Goto realized something wasn't right. Jinru wasn't just strong, he was on another level. Things started getting too real, and the other hunters had to jump in before someone got seriously hurt. After that, Jinwoo told Chairman Go straight up he wasn't going to Jeju Island. Everyone was stunned. The strongest hunter just said no thanks to one of the biggest missions ever. Around the same time, Baek met up with his old friend Min Byung-gyu. At first, Min didn't want anything to do with the raid, but he later changed his mind and agreed to join the Korean squad. While all this was happening on the human side, the Ant Queen over on Jeju Island gave birth to her strongest child yet, though. The day finally came. The big raid on JEJU Island was happening. Korea wasn't taking any chances. Naval ships were sent up north, and just in case things got out of hand, strike teams were scattered all across the country. These squads had a mix of hunters, one B rank leading, a few C ranks, and a bunch of D and E ranks to support. Even hunters who'd retired or had moved on from fighting came back to help. All in all, about 5,000 people were ready for war. To make sure the whole world saw what was going down, a hunter who also worked as a news reporter joined the Korean strike team. That team included heavy hitters Cha Hae-in, Baek Yoon-ho, Lim Tae-gyu, Choi Jong-in, and Min Byung-ju. These weren't your average hunters. This was Korea's best. But Japan got there first. Their squad hit the island and wasted no time. Choi Jong-in handled the first swarm himself while they were still in the air, clearing the path so the rest of the Koreans could land safely. But then something shady happened. Japan's squads, now split into smaller groups, started mowing through the ants. It was so easy that some of them started thinking, do we even need the Koreans? Back inside the hive, Choi used his fire powers to lead the team deeper into the tunnels. They eventually found the queen's nesting chamber, and what they saw creeped everyone out. A giant egg that had already hatched. Just looking at it gave them chills. It was massive, like nightmare-level massive. Elsewhere near the hive entrance, one of the Japanese hunters, Kenzo Tanaka, was already beat up, shoulder and waist injuries. He asked healer Akari Shimizu to patch him up, but she was joking around, not taking things too seriously. Then, in a blink, she was gone. Beheaded. Just like that. Tanaka froze. Then he heard a voice from the ant that killed her. Are there others? Others you call king? He lost it and tried to fight back but died immediately. Their teammate Fujishima watched it all happen and tried to go after the killer. He was also decapitated within seconds. These weren't normal ants. These were monsters. When those three stopped answering their radios, two more hunters, Kei and Ippei, went to check. And like the rest, they were wiped out before they could even react, just gone. Back in the Queen's chamber, the Korean team had made progress. Thanks to Byung-gyu healing non-stop, they were pushing the Queen to her breaking point. She fought back with her guards, but they were getting overwhelmed. It looked like the Koreans were about to win. Then, out of nowhere, the Queen screamed. Her last cry for help, and just like that, all the jamming devices failed. The signal went out. And that's when he showed up. The Ant King, the same monster that had just massacred the Japanese S-rankers, walked into the Queen's chamber like it was nothing. His presence alone made everyone freeze. He looked at the Queen, then turned to the Koreans. In seconds, he took down the entire Korean squad, one by one, without even trying hard. They couldn't touch him, but Byung-gyu kept healing them, thinking he was safe, thinking the Ant King couldn't sense him. He was wrong. The Ant King appeared behind him silently, shoved his fist through his chest, and then ate his head. Just like that, their healer, their key to survival, was gone. So while all hell was breaking loose inside the Queen's lair, Goto Ryuji, Japan's #1 hunter, noticed something wasn't right. Two of his squads had gone completely silent. No replies, no signals. That's when he realized something was seriously wrong and started searching for them. At the same time, the Ant King, who'd been tearing through people like they were training dummies, sensed someone strong nearby. So what does he do? He straight up walks out of the Queen's chamber, leaving the wounded Korean hunters behind like they didn't even matter. Just left them there to die. But then, boom. Out of nowhere, Sung Jin-woo teleports right into the chamber using his shadow exchange. Goto finally runs into the Ant King, and man, he was confident. He thought he could win. After all, he was Japan's strongest hunter, right? But the Ant King wasn't impressed. After killing Ishida like it was nothing, he beheaded Goto without even breaking a sweat. Now, here's where it gets dark. Turns out Goto and the chairman of the Japanese Hunters Association weren't just helping Korea out of kindness. They had a whole scheme. The plan was to let Korea fight and die so they wouldn't have to deal with any more powerful S-rankers from that side of the sea. It was all a setup. And the crazy part? Goto thought the plan worked. He was ready to dip. But nope, Ant King killed him before he could even think about running. The Ant King then went back to the queen's chamber, but it wasn't how he left it. The place was now crawling with Sung Jinwoo's shadow army. Literal soldiers made of darkness were tearing through the ants like paper. And the Ant King, the moment he saw Jinwoo, he knew this guy isn't normal. The two started going at it, full-blown boss fight. Now remember, this Ant King had destroyed rankers in a single hit, but against Jinwoo, nothing landed. Jinwoo was dodging everything and landing brutal counters. The Ant King tried poisoning him, bad idea. Didn't work at all. Jinwoo wasn't even fazed. Getting desperate, the Ant King tried to summon his army for backup. The Shadow Army wiped them out in seconds, and then it was over. Jinwoo killed the Ant King. No mercy, no speech, just handled it. But things weren't done yet. Cha Hae-in was badly hurt, barely hanging on. So Jinwoo did something wild. He temporarily pulled out the shadow of Byung-gyu, who was already dead by the way, just to heal her. The man really used death itself like a support item. The mission was finished. The Korean hunters packed up and went back home. But Sung stayed. Why? Because he wasn't done. He extracted the Ant King's shadow, made him part of his army, and then gave him a job. There's still about 4,000 ants left. Wipe them out, and just like that, JEJU Island, the place that had caused so much fear, was cleared. Alright, so let's break down the dark truth behind the JEJU Island raid. Back when Korea was getting ready for the 4th raid on JEJU Island, things were tense. The last few attempts had been complete disasters, but then Goto Ryuji, Japan's strongest hunter, pulled up to talk with Korea's Hunter Association chairman. Goto came in all calm and respectful, said, "Hey, we've been doing our own research, and we think our plan might be better." His idea? Japan's S-rank hunters would distract the ant army, while Korea's squad would sneak in and take out the queen chairman. Chairman Go thought, okay, this might actually work. He trusted Goto. I mean, they didn't have many options, and killing the queen was a smart move. Ants only live for about a year, and without a queen, there's no new army. Simple biology. But here's where things get shady. That whole plan? It was a setup. Japan wasn't there to help. The real plan was to let Korea do all the hard work, go deep into the island, kill the queen, and be stuck in the middle of the battlefield, surrounded. Once the queen was dead, Japan would stop distracting the ants, let the swarm turn around and crush the Korean hunters, and then pretend like they were the heroes who saved the day. And it didn't stop there. Japan wanted to take JEJU Island for themselves. If Korea lost all their S-rank hunters in that trap, they'd be too weak to defend against any future monster attacks. That would force them to rely on Japan for protection. Basically, Japan was trying to make Korea beg for help while they held all the power. Messed up, right? So when news came in that the queen was finally dead, the Japanese Hunters Association chairman Matsumoto Shigeo gave the go-ahead for his hunters to retreat. Just bounce. But karma showed up real fast. The Ant King appeared, like literally moments after, and absolutely wrecked every Japanese hunter. They didn't even get the chance to escape. Even Goto Ryuji, who thought he was on another level compared to normal S ranks, one hit, gone. No last stand, no dramatic speech, just lights out. That betrayal plan, it collapsed before it even started. In the end, most of Korea's S-rank hunters actually survived thanks to Sung Jinwoo, while Japan's elite force got wiped out. And when the dust settled, Chairman Go found a transceiver on Goto's body, evidence that proved everything, so now the secret was out. Matsumoto's whole betrayal was exposed later on in the manhwa. It gets even more ironic. Matsumoto ends up begging Korea and even Sung Jinwoo himself for help when an S-rank gate opened, and then he gets arrested by his own government. Talk about a full circle moment. So yeah, what was supposed to be a sneaky takeover turned into one of the biggest fails Japan ever pulled in the solo leveling world. Sad for them, wild for us, and honestly, kinda satisfying. Anyway, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads.